Good morning, welcome back to the channel. This morning we've got the house full of doors to change. So we've just started to take one or two off, the boys have, and get set up here. But we're going to just talk you through basically how we go about fitting new doors. So at the minute we've got these older 6-panel doors. Not fitted that well. And we're going to be putting in some new oak ones. And yeah, we'll just talk you through as we go the process.
Bit drizzly out here.
Yeah, a good door hanging day in the rain. So from the top, always cut off the bottom. So we'll cut that, mark that 1975. 1975. And then for these, I normally cut these with the plunge saw. If you use a planer on these, what will happen is that as you run that planer through on that end, it'll just split all that end out. If you do use it on a planer, you almost just need to go so far one way and then do it from the other way afterwards. But a lot easier with this. So we'll cut this off. And then transfer this door into here, ready to cut our hinges out. So I know that that door upstairs is hung on, as I'm looking at it from inside the room, that door's hung on the left hand side. So I know that the hinges need to come out from that side of the door. And then what we do, sometimes when we're hanging into old frames, I use the existing hinge holes that are already cut out. But those ones upstairs are all different measurements. So we'll do our own and it'll look a lot neater, and we'll fill the old holes after. So when you're doing the hinges, I normally do 6 inches from the top, 9 from the bottom. You get a few different, people do them different, sometimes 7 and 9 or 6 and 8. The reason you have that one a bit higher from the bottom is when you look at it visually, if you keep that 6 inches as well, that bottom hinge looks way too low on the door when you're looking at it. It just doesn't look right. So, and then because these are quite heavy doors, we need to put 3 hinges on. So mark those out. Not to sound like a dad here, but it's quite important that you have a sharp pencil as well when you do this, because your markings are that much more accurate. And then you measure in between the two. Yeah, you don't use one of them. Okay. And then so I'll find the middle, which is 758. Put that third one right in the centre of the 2 other hinges. And then what we do, just to speed it up a little bit for the video, so I don't lose you all, is I've already set up my little 1/4 inch router. So that's set into the depth there to the width of the hinge, and then also to the depth of the hinge. So then it makes it nice and easy, and you get a nice flat surface for the hinge to sit on. So I'll just cut this. So this one here, see, I just leave that a little bit off there either side, and then I would take it out right now, but I've left my hammer and chisel upstairs. I just need to take that last little bit out, the hammer and chisel, and then that's ready for hinges. Okay, so I've reorganised myself. We've chiselled out the corners on these hinges. I don't know if you want to come a little bit closer just to show Kian the cameraman. And so these hinges then fit in there really nicely. There's this nice flat surface, and then what we can do there then is just drill those out. I usually just keep the drill hole just slightly to this edge of the hinge, just so when we screw it in, it just pulls that hinge nice and tight to that bit of timber there. Don't need to go too far. This is a 3.5mm bit. We still want the screw to have plenty of pull. It's just making it a bit easier. And with the pilot, it just stops the screw potentially splitting the door. We really don't want that. So the next move is, we don't need to screw these hinges on yet, because I need to mark these hinge holes on the frame. So the next thing, we need to take this door upstairs and mark out on the frame and cut the hinges to match these on the frame. So we've got the door upstairs. Next move is to drop it into the opening. Now if it's a bit tight there at the minute, I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to get the hinge holes cut, and then I can take a look at what I need to plane off thereafter. So if I get my lifter under there, and then what I normally do for a spacer is just a bit of sandpaper folded twice. And if I put that in there, I can go up tight to that. Gives me a nice solid bit then to mark these out, rather than it wobbling about. So mark the frame where the hinges are, and take this back out. And then I can mark these out then using the hinge. Mark those out and get them cut out. And we can also then get the hinges on fixed to the door then as well. Okay. Right, Lewis is going to explain the next little bit on the hinges. He's a little nervous, so go easy on him. Over to you, Lewis.
So when putting the hinges on the door, we always do it so the 3 little barrels go onto the face that way, going onto the door. Then the 2 little barrels go to the door. 3 bigger barrels go on the frame, and then you just fix it like this. Pressure's on there. Voila.
Get a close up for Lou, did you?
Yeah.
Right, so I'll just show you. On this, I can't use the rater for cutting this out because I've got the door stop bit there, basically on the rebated door lining. It won't go in far enough. So generally we just go a little bit old school with this one. So what I normally do is I get my chisel that way around on there. A couple of taps there. Same on the lower one. And then down the side. And then, so we've got the outline cut out. And then to make it easier to take it out, the easiest way is just with chisel that way. It's just to make a few notches all the way down in there, and it'll loosen all that timber up. And then from there, just take a bit out the side. You just got to try and get it as flat as you can. Like so, and then just check with your hinge. It's pretty good on the top, a little bit proud at the proud there. It's just so when you use a chisel, if you use it that way to do it, you'll dig in and you'll keep travelling in. If you do it that way round, it won't. So it'll just peel a bit off. So that looks a lot better there. So then we can get the pilot drill, wherever that is, over here. And then just make those in each one, and then we'll get the, well, I'll finish doing that and then I'll show you us hanging the door. Right, we've so Lewis has screwed the hinges. Always screw the hinges onto the door side first, a lot easier, just because when you're trying to screw in alongside the frame, really awkward. A lot easier to screw through this way. So with the door lifter, I just moved that up. So it sits in there. So normally I'd be screwing these myself, but we're very labour heavy today, so for a change. So I'll get Lewis to screw those in. So what I normally do is just have two in on each one, top and bottom. Don't bother with the middle one just yet, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to plane a bit off this door. But it'll be a lot easier for me to see what I need to plane off once the door's planed.
One up here.
Oh yeah, put two in each one. Okay, so we'll close this door. As you can see, it's just a little bit too tight. Almost goes through at the top. The bottom needs a little bit more off. So from there, I can work out how much I need to take off. I know exactly where it's going to sit with the hinges on that side now. So we'll mark this up, then we've got to take, this is the pane in the backside of doors. Take this back off, we'll take it downstairs, plane a bit off, and then bring it back up. I just thought I probably should have showed you marking out. All I did was close the door from the other side and just drew a pencil line along the frame and the door. Now I know that that is quite tight, so but it gives me an idea. If I can take that pencil line off, and then normally I just run a couple more times over it then to get a bit of a gap there. That's just a little bit of feel on the doors sometimes you need. So I think that'll probably do in there. It's a little bit of trial and error on the old planing, but I think that should work. So if I just take a bit of sandpaper just to take the arris off either side, it's not too sharp. Okay, I'm going to take this back upstairs and rehang it and see how it's fitting.
You putting a packer in that room?
Yeah. So we're going to rehang the door again, just 2 screws in the top and the bottom, just in case we do need to take a little bit more off.
Just come over a little bit, Steve.
And on camera. Two in there.
Yeah, there's a few little holes about.
Okay, you jump in your key in with the camera. Yeah. Moment of truth. Let's see if that door closes now. There we go, that closes absolutely fine now. So what, obviously the next thing on this door is to carry on putting those screws in, but then it's the handle and latch. When I've got a lot of doors to do, because I need quite a lot of kit for both things, I generally just go around, hang all the doors first without the handles, and then we go back after and fit all the handles on later. So for now, we're going to just crack on, get all the other doors hung like this one, and I'll show you a bit more when we're doing the handles then. And like I say, love to show you them all, but I've got quite a few doors to hang today, so we'll see you a bit later on the handles. Okay, so all the doors are hung now, so now we'll go around and fit all the handles. Handle heights, I normally put them at 900. I know some people do them slightly different heights, but normally 900 for me. So what I do is I mark 900, and then because it's a 2.5 inch latch, come from that edge 45mm to the centre. Then on this end, obviously just put it in this mark in the centre of the door. I've already just drilled this one out. These latches, 25mm in diameter, so I use a 25mm spade bit, drill through there, and then for these they're having rose handles like so, and for those, drill those out 20mm diameter, just so you've got a little bit more around there to fix the screws around the side. So I've drilled that out. I'll drill these two out next, and then I'll show you, and then basically show you marking out the latch where we need to chisel out for there. Okay. So put the latch into the hole, then you've got the cover plate. So we'll just sort of get this in the center and then mark round. And then from there, take these back out and then chisel out this hole. So I'll show you once I've got that all chiseled, so you're not too... So I've chiseled that out, chisel it out same way like I showed on the hinges, just cut around the edge and then a few notches. Then you can clean it out a bit easier. So got that in. That now can pilot drill through there. You can get that fixed in place. And then for the handles, then that hole should line up nicely. So you get your spindle. Then your handle. So on this one, I normally will just tighten a grub screw on this one. Stops that spindle flying around too much. You just got to keep it sort of equal distance, so you got enough poking out this side. For the other handle, and then on these we just need to fix that handle to the door. So we'll get that sorted, and then we'll show you the receiver plate. Okay, we've got the handles on now, so they're all in. Just check that that's working freely. And then for the receiver plate, usually just close the door up to it and mark either side, which I've already done. And then just take a measurement from the front of the door to the edge of the latch. That's 11mm. So that's my 11mm mark. Now turn that upside down and mark that out like so. And then we can get that chiseled out. Okay, that's chiseled out now. So we've got that. Oh, let me show you. Where are we? Okay, I've lost my cameraman now. He's down there doing work. Doing some work for a change. So there's the latch done. And that should look into there. Lovely. Okay, one down, another 9 to go. I'll give you a little conclusion note at the end. So I've got all the handles on now, so all the doors are finished. Been round, a little bit of a quality control, make sure they all shut properly. Lewis has finished his bit skirting and architrave around here, done a lovely job. And yeah, I just hope you've enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one.